A stunning scene tonight in Washington, D.C. The U.S. Capitol placed on lockdown after a group of President Donald Trump supporters stormed the building in an effort to stop a peaceful transfer of power. The mob broke through windows and a line of Capitol Police to get in. Once inside, those people could be seen storming the Capitol Hall, some wearing Make America Great Again signage, others donning military body armor.
They broke the glass? Everybody stay down! Get down!
Tense moments inside House chambers. Lawmakers told to hide as security officers barricade the entrance and draw their guns. Some agitators did get inside the chamber. One woman was shot on the House floor. We learned in the last hour she died.
Law enforcement officials now say the inside of the Capitol is secure 4 hours after the violence started. Things are still very active outside. The Pentagon says 1,100 D.C. National Guard members are supporting law enforcement along with other federal protective services. A curfew is now in effect for the entire D.C. metro area. It started about an hour ago and goes until 6 o'clock tomorrow morning. President-elect Joe Biden made a televised address demanding President Trump tell his supporters to stop the violence.
To storm the Capitol, to smash windows, to occupy offices, the floor of the United States Senate, rummaging through desks, on the Capitol, on the House of Representatives, threatening the safety of duly elected officials. It's not protest, it's insurrection.
Biden said the scene at the Capitol does not reflect who we are as a nation, instead calling it a small number of extremists dedicated to lawlessness. President Trump released a video on Twitter this afternoon speaking to the group at the Capitol.
We have to have peace. We have to have law and order. We have to respect our great people in law and order. We don't want anybody hurt. It's a very tough period of time.
President Trump did ask them to go home, but he also said again that the election was stolen and that he won in a landslide, even though there's no proof of that, and the results have been certified for Joe Biden. Before a group stormed the Capitol, the president supported protesters' efforts.
And to use a favorite term that all of you people really came up with, we will stop the steal.
The massive demonstrations interrupting important business. Congress had just begun reviewing the electoral votes that will seal Joe Biden's victory in the election, which several of the president's allies had already promised to challenge. Lawmakers counting the votes told to duck under chairs.
Get down under your chairs if necessary, so we have folks entering the rotunda and coming down this way.
House Speaker Nancy Pelosi confirms Congress plans to begin where they left off, certifying the election in the next hour. Democratic Oregon Senator Jeff Merkley tweeting pictures of what appears to be the boxes holding the Electoral College paperwork. He says they were rescued from the Senate floor before the Capitol was breached. Local lawmakers who are in Washington, D.C. tonight are reacting to this rapidly developing situation.
AJ Bayatpour has you covered on what they plan to do now when it comes to the Electoral College vote. AJ?
Out of Wisconsin's congressional delegation, two lawmakers, Senator Ron Johnson and Representative Tom Tiffany, had said they would object to the electoral results in several contested states, despite the absence of proof backing President Trump's claims of widespread voter fraud. In a tweet this afternoon, Senator Johnson said, quote, "Capitol Police have acted with incredible professionalism. I sincerely thank them for their service and condemn all lawless activity." Congressman Tiffany from Wausau says in a statement, quote, "My staff and I are safe in Washington, D.C. Peaceful protest is a constitutionally guaranteed right, and that right must be protected for all Americans, but violence and destruction is unacceptable." Another Republican, Congressman Mike Gallagher from Green Bay, criticized GOP lawmakers who back the objection efforts.
We know we're not going to succeed, so we're just going to object. We're going to have a debate. We'll voice people's concerns, and then we won't actually overturn our entire system of representative government, so nothing bad will happen. There will be no cost to this effort. This is the cost of this effort.
And within the last half hour, I spoke with Democratic Congressman Mark Pocan. The audio was rough as I talked to him in his Capitol office, but he says when the building is cleared, Congress should and will work through the night if necessary to certify the Electoral College vote.
I think the worst thing we could do is not continue tonight. I think we have to show that
No matter what, we can rebound as a federal government. We can do the proper actions of approving our electors.
Congressman Pocan also tells me tonight he supports a new effort to impeach President Trump, saying he believes the president is responsible for what has happened today at the United States Capitol. And late this afternoon, Republican Representative Brian Stile in the 1st District said in a statement he condemns the, quote, reprehensible actions of criminals inside the United States Capitol. He called for anyone not authorized to be in the Capitol to leave the grounds immediately.
AJ, thank you. Wisconsin Attorney General Josh Kaul said once Congress finishes ratifying the election results, it should begin the process to remove President Trump. Kaul said he's a threat to the republic.
Governor Tony Evers is calling for swift bipartisan condemnation by the president and by elected officials who sought to sow division and distrust in our election, adding the peaceful transfer of power is at the very heart of our government and our country. He called what's happening at the Capitol an attack on our democracy.
Even though the Capitol is secure, we're still unsure about how the electoral certification process will play out now.
Jennifer Cleese joins us now with what political experts say could happen. Jen?
Congressional leaders had said they wanted the situation to be brought under control, of course, before returning to the process of confirming Joe Biden's presidential win. And now we know that could happen yet tonight. There are reports Congress will pick things back up around 7 o'clock tonight. They had only certified 2 states before they went to debate Arizona. Then the group broke into the Capitol and it went on lockdown. UW-Madison political science professor Barry Burden says things need to be cleaned up and safe to be able to continue.
There's probably going to need to be time to clear the Capitol, to clean the Capitol if there have been tear gas canisters or other things discharged there. It's possible that the House and Senate members could reconvene at some other location. They don't necessarily need to be on the floor of the House.
Burden says the message these lawmakers who had objections to the election are raising has been overshadowed by the protesters and the violence that's come after it. Burden says it's troubling to see groups of people detached from the truth and understanding of the constitutional process, and it shows little respect for the democratic process.